What up, YouTube? Beware of the half-truths. You might just have the wrong half. It's your boys, Detroit Love, P-Dubs Arcade Love, P-Dubs Arcade Love, Michael B. the Game Genie, and Restalgia with another episode of the Super Game Room Dudes. Friday night just got live.
What was that, Detroit Love? You say half truths, and then you start giggling about P-Dubs? What are you talking about, man?
I had the wrong half of P-Dub's name.
Guys, welcome to the Super Game Room Dudes, your Friday Fun House, your favorite arcade and gaming podcast show. That's right, guys. The leader in home arcade entertainment, 3 years and counting. They can't catch us. They can't catch up to us. They're still in the rearview mirror wishing they were us. But that's just the way it's going to be for all time because the Super Game Room Dudes is your favorite arcade and gaming podcast show. With me, as always, I got Detroit Love. I got the boys from Buy Stuff Arcades. Michael B. has just arrived. Also, Restalgia's on his way. He got caught up at work. He might be joining us a little bit late. Damn these jobs that pay for our hobbies. We want to have fun and talk video games, right?
You would think At Games and Evercade would let Restalgia leave work early for this, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of jerks, right? A bunch of jerks. Everyone, do me a favor, give a warm welcome to the boys from Buy Stuff. And not only are the head honchos here, but rumor has it Mario might get his first ever Super Game Room Dudes appearance. He's been messaging me all week. Can I please be on the broadcast? Can you tell my bosses to let me on the show? Can I please be on the show? So, guys, we're going to see the infamous Mario from Buy Stuff. That's right. Why did you guys say yes to Mario? Why?
Well, you got to.
He said that you said he could.
Oh, because I said it was okay.
Yeah.
I told him I didn't care. Conti says Mario secretly runs that place. Let's keep that in mind as well. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Are you guys excited? It's been a fun week for you, huh? The last couple of days.
Yeah, it has been. It's kind of neat to see some reaction. So that's been fun to see how it's all come out. But we've worked pretty hard on getting this going, so it's kind of cool to let other people see it finally.
All right, you guys are at like a 2. I'm gonna need you at like a 9 or 10. We're gonna have to just come on.
Yeah, the excitement was a little low there, guys. Like, honestly, you guys put out a world-class video.
We're letting Mario do the excitement.
No. I want to give you guys some credit here. Like, I remember like the first couple of videos you guys put out for your stuff, and it was like pretty good, but like this was badass. That was a really well done video and stuff. Like, kudos on that. Like, as a content producer or provider, whatever you want to call it, YouTuber, like, man, oh man, like your production value was incredible on the reveal.
Yeah, let's kind of take. You know what? In fact, let's put these boys full screen. All right, I'm going to be Moses here. Let's part the waves. Show me that super sprint. Lean to the sides. Holy shit! What is that? Is that an arcade one up with a wheel on it? What is that?
It's over here, yes. Well.
So we got various options for their new 360-degree controller, which we're going to show you guys some of the options that are up and ready to go. We're going to also try and answer your questions. There's a ton of questions. I have a ton of questions about this particular mod. Some people were asking, where's the shifter? Where's the brake pedal? And we're going to get all those questions answered for you. Some people even asked, why does Super Sprint not have a light-up marquee? We're going to answer all those questions here tonight with the boys from the Buy Stuff, and we're going to do some live demos of the various products. Keep in mind, the goal here is not to try to convince someone to buy a $3,500 arcade machine unless you really want to. I'm sure the Buy Stuff guys would be happy if you did, but we definitely want to highlight all their other more cost-effective options coming up down the road as well.
Oh,
Michael,
you mean in our videos we're not supposed to force people to buy things they probably shouldn't buy?
Mike already tried to tell people not to buy.
Oh, I know how this community is, right? Like if a product comes out, the first thing they say is someone's trying to force me to spend $3,000. No one's trying to force anyone to do anything.
People were mad at me that I was saying it was for $3,500. They were like, "It's totally worth it, you idiot."
Well, that is true. This is one thing where a lot of people have actually agreed with the price, although are a little sad at the price because for that big machine behind you guys, the highlight, the centerpiece, they were hoping to see something a little bit cheaper. But man, that thing is pretty, isn't it?
Oh,
That
yeah,
thing
it's-
is pretty. Carl, what do we got here, buddy? What's this?
Hey everyone! JR man, thank you for the super chat, $9.99. We appreciate that. I knew Mario was gonna be on, so I came prepared.
Yes.
Got the Mario hat. Carl, real quick, what was your first impression when you saw the news break earlier this week with the Buy Stuff Arcades
Now, is this
mod?
winter or is this summer for Detroit Love? I don't see it until today. I didn't see. I'm not online with you guys. I'm out.
That's true.
Did you
Running.
not get my email? I sent an email blast out yesterday. You're on our list.
I didn't get none of that. I'm offline until Friday night at 9
Friday night, he's here. What happened?
But what was your reaction when you saw it?
When I logged in here and saw it behind those guys, I was like, "Wow, what is that?" I can't wait to find out more about what that is.
Guys,
Guys, I have my Buy Stuff mod here on my Star Wars here, so I'm a fan. I have the pedestal for my at games gamer pro. So guys, I'm a big fan, and I've come out my pocket every time for whatever I want from you guys. So I definitely appreciate what you guys do, and I can't wait to learn more about this cabinet. I'm a big fan. One of the iconic games. If that sound comes out, it takes me all the way back, and that's pole position. I'm not sure if that's going to be on this thing because that's a vertical game, and I hate playing vertical games on anything else but vertical. But racers, I'm a big fan of them. I still have not bought one. I got your mod just so I can play some race games because I still hadn't found the one that I need to put in my game room. So I'm thrilled to see what you guys have and all the options you have for putting those in other things as well. So
all right, live chat is on. What?
So I just want to apologize, guys. You got to realize Carl is completely offline in the summertime.
Yeah.
He even cancels his Brazzers subscription in the summertime. Like there's no payment for that, anything. Like there is online for Carl.
Yeah, he just switches over to X videos where every video is free during the summertime. All right, guys, let's say hi to who's here in the live chat. Live chat's on the screen, but only while we say hi to the live chat. And speaking of which, Carl gave us a $2.79 Canadian super chat. He says, "Let's do this. Thank you for the $1.50 in real American money super chat. We greatly appreciate your support.
Let's do this. Thank you, bro.
All right. Let's see who's here in the live chat. Stock Jock, Vader, Farrell, Inferno, James hates everything but secretly loves everybody. Carl O, Ritual Della, Fret Brenner, Philip, PD7, shouting out to Buy Stuff. He's literally walking and talking right now during this broadcast. You got Jason, the Little Alien, Pliskin's Run, Mitchell R, Shane Christopher, Frankie D, Zero Cool, Wild Bills, a Retro Gaming Show, Multicade Matt, or should I call him Sir? Multicade Matt is here as well. We also have Peter McNabb. We also have Andy's Game Room. Who else do we got lurking in the live chat? Andy's Game Room, Hazo, Calvin Wong, Kevin, Clausen, Dan Z, Chris NXXW. We're graced with the presence of Kevin Clausen. Thank God 19K Fox isn't on tonight. Otherwise, Kevin wouldn't be here. We love you, Kevin. Retro Lab Rat is here as well. Vader is here in the live chat. And everyone is here. Ritual Dello's here as well, moderating this thing. Big shout out to Jason, Little Alien, and Ritual Dello for moderating tonight's broadcast. And guys, unfortunately, before people complain, typically when we set up a live stream, we set it up where viewers of the channel, if you've been subscribed for at least 5 minutes, you can comment. Due to some behavior that happened last week where we had a bunch of troll accounts coming in, people who had just subbed to the channel just to leave some really nasty remarks on the channel and try to ruin a good broadcast. We had to switch it to 24 hours. It just helps us keep some of the trolls out and keep it a good experience for those of you who are here in the live chat. So just a heads up there. That's why we had to do that flip. Hopefully we won't have to do that on future episodes. Carl, again, hold on. He says, take that, P-dubs. Love you guys. Let's do this. Carl with a $13.99 Canadian super chat. Thanks for the $9.99 in American. Now you're talking real money, my friend. Now you're welcome to be here for the entire hour. Thanks so much for that, buddy.
Is that my old buddy Carl LaFontaine?
I think so.
Woo!
All right, Michael B. I got to drink my coffee here. I took a nap. I got to wake up. Go ahead and take it away. Start asking these guys questions, and we're going to do a giveaway tonight. How many giveaways are we doing?
I gave you 2 questions.
So,
Use,
2?
So you can do 2 at least. Yeah.
2 giveaways, but they're going to be pretty big, guys. So you definitely don't want to miss those during the broadcast tonight. Big
How
shout
big?
out.
We need clarification right now. How big?
Well, it's better when we surprise the viewers. And we remember last time they were on and we were giving away these big gift cards and the audience went banana sandwich. Wouldn't it be cool if we kind of did the same thing again, Mike?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no frame of reference. Like,
Kevin
is
Clausen-
it like, oh, that's really big, or is like, oh my god, I got to change my underwear?
Let's just say it's more like a Kevin Clausen super chat versus a Carl LaFontaine super chat. You know what I mean? It's like the good super chat, not the Carl LaFontaine super chats. There you go. All right. So is it bigger than a bread box? Super funny. Go ahead, Detroit Love. I know you wanted to.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell Kevin Clausen thank you for the $2 super chat. I don't know if we'll be able to ban 19K Fox. He is traveling, so he won't be available anyway. Buy stuff, guys. I did just peek into my inbox, and I do see my email from yesterday. It's finally here.
Just came in.
So, just hit the newsroom.
That's so funny.
So,
funny.
P-Dubs is going to drink his coffee, and
I'm taking a break. Go ahead.
So, guys, like, I will be the first person to tell you that I thought you were going to make some kind of multicade, either shooting or driving. That's what I had my heart on, but I didn't expect this. I in no way expected some kind of arcade recreation to the level that you did this. What inspired you to go all in and recreate Super Sprint in the way that you did?
We love Super Sprint. It is a very fun game. We spent, I don't know, an hour the other night just playing after we were recording videos. So we're very competitive at it to each other, and so that's how we grew up. But when we had been working on the spinner wheel, the whole Super Sprint idea, a few years ago already, and had been developed the steering wheel, made the deck that actually fit on the legends and pedestal and things before, but I wanted to go full scale. It just sort of hit me as like, we should make this thing for real and get one of these, as authentic and as much of a reproduction as possible. So that's what we spent a lot of time working on for the last little while everyone was paying attention to other things. So
we thought we'd start with a really easy cabinet
A simple one.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's really easy to say this, guys. This is probably the coolest fucking thing that's happened in home arcade in 6 years. This is the coolest cab I've seen yet. It's not necessarily the title for everybody. I mean, everybody's all over the place, but like, I mean, you took an iconic looking cab and you just knocked it out of the park. You nailed it. You did it with quality parts. You created a brand new controller. You went out and you got that Phoenix monitor. And like, when people are considering the price, I know I said it was really expensive, but you also got to consider everything that goes into it. I mean, that's a 26-inch Unico LCD monitor. I mean, then you've got the 3 wheels, the actual cabinet build. I mean, yeah, like, I mean, you killed it. I think the only thing people are saying, like, when they're like, oh man, the price, is they're just like, I want this so bad, but it's so expensive. But like, I can't tell you enough. Like, you guys killed it. This is just absolutely incredible.
I do need to rip the Band-Aid off here, and I do need to, even though we love you guys and we've covered your products for years, I do have to ask you the tough questions. And one thing that I wasn't aware of until like late yesterday was that this actually comes with that Unico 26-inch monitor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So here's the issue: is those monitors have been making the rounds a lot lately on where they have issues, or at least the first wave of those monitors had some issues when it came to coloring, contrast, being able to connect them to real arcade machines. There were issues. Can you like walk me through the confidence here that this like is this their newer version that supposedly has all the fixes in it, or what's going on with these monitors that you know of?
Well, we haven't purchased the supply yet, so whatever the newest is what we're going to be getting. But the main problem that they've been having with those monitors is hooking them up to the older machines, right?
Yeah.
HDMI has always been pretty straightforward. It's not the hardest thing to do. So that is, of course, how we're connecting. So
yeah, from what I'm understanding is if you're trying to connect it through like the the CGI connections, like the real classic arcade connections, these monitors have some issues. But if you're connecting via HDMI, apparently less to no issues. Is that the case?
yeah, we like it.
We haven't had any.
Yeah.
We haven't had
And
any
this-
issues at all.
So
And this-
yeah, like unlike P-Dubs who likes to ask the hard questions, I like to ask the educated questions. And I already knew that there was no issue with the HDMI connection. So I understand where he's coming from, though. Yeah, the Cool Toy and 19K Fox actually helped them a lot with the monitors that are already gone out because of the midway issues that have been happening. And I think they did some kind of firmware update to get that up to speed. So some of those issues, P-Dubs, that you're bringing up have already been corrected.
Okay, well that's good to hear.
They're coming out with a new board, actually. It's
That's what it is? New board?
not just firmware, yeah.
All right, guys.
But
Well,
again,
before we cover the next questionnaire, we want to get James Hayes everything. $3 super chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you, brother. He says, "Can you give away the orange blanket that you use in your reveal video?"
I think Buster's claimed it for himself now already. But
Here it is in real life.
there it is. It's a real
Blanket's
blanket.
real.
Buster's not real tonight.
Oh, there you go.
That's all I got. Buster's home in bed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We found out you photoshopped the dog on your teaser photo. You can't fool this
is where
community.
we got to. This is our AI dog right here.
Yeah, I got guys. That is the ugliest blanket I have ever seen. Like, even my grandmother, when she was alive, didn't have a blanket that ugly. What is
Soft
that?
and comfortable.
We had to import it from the U.S. It was,
Now,
They
please
don't make
confirm
them from
which
Canada.
one of you is the owner of that blanket? Who owns the Snuggie blanket?
well, it's Buster's blanket.
It's Buster's now. Yeah,
It's
Buster's. Yeah. He loves it. I have
All right.
some other pictures.
No, the blanket took a life on its own, so we went and ordered one too. And I think it turned out pretty good in the reveal video.
So, real quick, we're gonna definitely cover this in just a second, but I want to know what made you guys want to do this whole 360-degree steering wheel. I mean, you guys have supposedly been working on this for a very, very long time. And whatchamacallit, what brought that on? Did you have a lot of requests from people with all your other like yoke, like your steering wheel racing box mods or something? Like, what made this happen?
We played around with the Legends Ultimate when it first came with the spinners on it, right? So I had 2 spinners, and we're like, hey, we can play Super Sprint on this thing. And people had 3D printed the little steering wheel and stuff like that, or
Yeah,
and we hooked up another mouse, I think. So we ended up making actually. The first time we ever played 3-player Super Sprint was on Legends with a few spinners that we kind of hacked together and made work. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, we need the real friggin' wheels. And we got a original Super Sprint deck that we picked up from Facebook. We got here. So then I was like,
This was our model.
this was the model. And
oh wow, look at that.
I'm like, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. And so we did it better because these are actually just plastic bushings that had a bolt on the end of them with an old, with an encoder wheel on the back. But they stood up to the abuse that they got in arcades. So I said, we're gonna find steering wheels, and we're gonna build the pod, and we're gonna put ball bearings in it, and build a real spinner, 360 wheel. Make this game play right. We're not gonna 3D print anything. We're not gonna, make anything that can't handle the real,
Mhm.
wheel spinning. So
So
that was where the inspiration came from.
Now, if somebody wanted to go nuts and buy the big machine, the prima donna there, how assembled does it come? How do you guys plan on shipping this thing?
So this box here, basically the HDMI cable and the power cable for the monitor, unplug, 4 bolts, and this comes off. And the pedals, which you can't see from that camera view, 4 bolts, and that comes off. 3 individual cables for the pedal controls, unplugged, and it's in those 3 pieces. So after that, this control deck stays on. The speaker, it splits right here. It's 40 inches wide, basically, at the control deck. 27, 22, 20, anyways, between 25 inches wide from the wheel to the back. And you can get this in your bathroom if you want. So
nice.
It's a couple total weight. We weighed it. It's about a couple 100 pounds, but with the back box off, two of us carried it from downstairs to upstairs to put in here without too much trouble. Except I had to be going backwards, but that's usually the way it is.
So would I be able to sneak this in into the house by myself?
I think so. Yeah.
At night.
Yeah. At night in the dark.
Yeah. Carl is notorious for sneaking arcades into those. Is that a new arcade, Carl? What? This old thing?
This old thing.
This old thing?
You need to come down
Mike.
here more often.
So, guys, for the people with the sticker shock seeing the big one, and we all love the big one, love it. But for the people looking at doing the Arcade 1-Up mod, people are asking now, which version of the Arcade 1-Up is this compatible with? Because we're looking at the one that you've got decked out back there. That looks like it's either a Model 1 or a Model 3, but like, what Arcade 1-Up can you modify to make into a Super Sprint with your kit?
As far as the mod goes, really it's just the deck that we've modded and then put art on. So art can be designed for most cabs. The Gen 1, lots of people have Gen 1, so this is what we first came up with. This is the 2-wheel deck. We have a single-wheel deck as well that fits right on. Again, it bolts right on to the existing deck holes. So we can make decks that fit, a lot of other cabs. They're not that different from each other, for the most part. Sometimes there's a little bit of a different shape here or there or whatever. So it's not really limited. We haven't, gone to town on designing every deck, but this is a Gen 1, straightforward. We've made decks for the Terminator. We made decks for Time Crisis. We made decks for, it's just a piece of plywood that you cut in the right shape. So that's there's not really a limit on the Arcade 1-Up mods.
Well, I have 2 questions. So the price for the big one that I saw, is that Canadian or U.S. price?
U.S.
Well, I was hoping it was Canadian.
Me too.
And then the second question is, can you make that deck for the IRK? Because it seems like that would be the best one with the shape.
We've just been talking about that. That might be an option.
Yeah, we looked at that tonight. We have the arcade downstairs, and it's a nice height. It's a nice height. The screen's actually not at a bad angle, and it's just a wide open deck to drop on. So that's not a bad idea.
Good Lord,
Carl, you are a disaster, my man.
Carl,
that's a good thing, because rumor has it that there's not a lot going on with the iArcade nowadays. So maybe
that was the other thought that went along with that first thought. Yes.
Now, this is a great question from Meatball Saucy earlier. What about the PC? So some people were like, "Wow, it's $3,500," but apparently, instead of an Android box, it's going to have your gaming PC in there with your new gaming PC build. Anything you could tell us about this gaming PC that's going to ship with the kits, whether it's this or if you get it for the At Games, the Arcade 1-Up kit, etc.
So the original intent for making sure this bad boy has the PC in it is because we wanted nice scan lines, nice beveled screen. You need a little more power to be able to do that properly. A lot of the games, obviously, Super Sprint doesn't take anything more than an Android box to run, and a lot of the 360 wheel games are that era. So that wasn't the biggest concern at first. But what it's enabled us to do as we're going along, we discovered an awful lot of arcade MAME racers are actually really good with the 360 wheel. 360 wheel.
Mhm.
We didn't really expect that because they're not designed for that. Most of them. I mean, Outrun is, but California Speed was a 270 wheel, but actually it works great. So, so with the more horsepower of it's a mini PC. It's not super crazy powerful, but we're running most of the MAME racers on it. So
That's really cool because I did hear Super Sprint was pretty low powered. It's so low powered, it even works on an Arcade 1-Up PCB.
There you go. So you get mentioned that there's going to be about 60 racing games you're going to throw on this build. Are you going to release a list? Great question for Bill's Retro Gaming Show.
So we're just looking at it. We're up to 75 now. Not sure if we'll make it 100, but we've got some more to add yet. We're going through them. Obviously, not every single game works perfectly with this type of wheel. And there is limitations for which emulators will work properly with a mouse. So basically, these are all MAME arcade. Coin op. I mean, this thing, you can make it run only with coins. So obviously, the games need to be coin op. And so that does make it a little bit tricky with some of the Model 2, Model 3, Technoparrot, that kind of stuff. But up to that level, then this thing's doing a good job. We can run through a game list at some point if you want to watch it scroll by. Otherwise, we're going to we will have a list published fairly soon.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I got a question on my video that I thought was pretty funny. Someone answered. They said, "How many licensed games are on this?" And I said, 0.
Yeah, I mean, we get that question all the time, of course. I mean, we're not selling ROMs, as the famous answer always is. But it's a lot of work to configure them and make them work right.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of work. And the the artwork, of course, you cannot buy this artwork licensed anywhere in the world, as far as I know. In fact, if people that resell this stuff weren't reselling it, probably all be gone, right? Yeah. So there's certainly a preservation argument to be made for some of that. And obviously, if Atari has problems, they can talk to us about it, and we'll discuss it with them.
Nah, we'll be cool, right? Everybody's going to be cool here. Nobody's saying anything to Atari, or else.
Free advertising.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Right here.
All right. So this is important because, obviously you got the big boy. There's a whole bunch of different options, and some people are just going to want to get the steering wheel and maybe the pedals, the Hall effect pedals by themselves. Can you walk us through that? And do you have that behind you on that little pedestal?
Pull it over.
Yeah. So the wheels themselves in a deck are going to be an option.
Looking in.
Yeah, sure. It will be an option. However, there's a fair bit that goes into configuring this stuff, especially if you get into more than one wheel.
I'm happy to see that Mario dressed up for the live stream that we finally got on.
He snuck in and made his appearance. Oh.
All right. Sorry, guys. Go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, so the configuration of these things, obviously some people are very experienced and know what they're doing a little bit, but keeping these wheels and pedals and buttons in order so that they're the same all the time and running together, not actually that easy to do. So the more wheels you add, the more complicated that gets. So a lot of the value we're bringing here is the configuration. but we'll have different options.
So I mean, this will be available, right, as a pedestal top. There's a wheel, with the nav stick and whatever buttons sort of are needed. This was an earlier prototype. I'm not sure if we're going to need all 4 buttons there, but that's one of the product on a pedestal. Play it on a box or on a TV.
We got a little bit of popping coming from your wireless microphones, guys. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way we could fix that on our end. We'll just have to kind of muscle our way through it. But yeah, there's a little bit of popping here and there. Just a heads up there, but just keep going. We know about it, guys. Sorry, live chat. I've seen people.
I'll move it down so it doesn't rub my neck.
Yeah,
no one in the live chat actually complained. It's mostly just P-Dubs. He really doesn't like
That's not
noises
true.
during the show.
That's not true. All right, so
but it is important for people to understand that there's a lot that goes into the manufacturing these wheels. Part of the reason that we've held off releasing this product for as long as we have, other than perfecting it and building this machine, is the manufacturing ramp up that we're going to need to do to this. So these wheels themselves will be a constrained thing. There's a reason we're starting with the big one, and that's so that we get a chance to ramp up our production capacity on the wheels. So obviously there's, we're going to figure out what the best priority schedule is in terms of the next product releases and things. And obviously, the more enthusiastic feedback, the more we're going to work hard on getting it all done.
Yeah. So do me a favor, guys, in the live chat. Which are you most interested in? Do you want the standalone wheel on a pedestal? Are you looking to do an arcade 1-up mod? Are you looking to fix this to an At Games Legends Ultimate? Let me know which one you guys are most interested in. That way the Buy Stuff Boys can see this on the replay so they can kind of prioritize which one they're going to get released. I'm happy to hear they're also thinking about possibly doing a version for the iArcade. That fucking keyboard, oh my god.
What did I tell you? Fucking diva. And he's like, oh, there's a little sound. I can't focus.
Oh, man. All right, let's talk about this. So the $899 pedestal package, what does that include? Can you walk us through that?
Yep. So basically, if you look at our price grid, we're talking about the deck, the ALU and pedestal includes the pedals as well, because it's a special 3-pedal large fabricated thing. But if you need a front end for it, either we're going to have PC and Android box options, and art, and pedestal. If you need a pedestal, a lot of people have our pedestal already. It's the same one. Carl, you can just switch the Gamer Pro out.
She'll never know.
She'll
Never know.
Now, do all these packages come with the gaming PC?
So all the packages have the option of adding on either the Android build or the gaming PC. Now, the Android box is going to be less than the PC, obviously, although our PC prices are going to be very surprisingly reasonable.
But no, those prices are the starting from. So the options will be up from there.
So for $899, you're getting the 3 wheels and the deck. That's it, right? And then everything else from there is add-ons.
And the pedals.
Yeah.
And the pedals.
And the pedals. Yeah.
And the pedestal, right?
No.
No, the pedestal's not included. So that works.
Carl already has a pedestal. He doesn't need another one.
So that same kit will fit an ALU as well, either or our pedestal.
Right, yeah, because we saw that right here, right before that. Let's go play right here. So this is the version that goes on the At Games Legends Ultimate. And I'm assuming you're also going to sell artwork packages, all these super sprint packages. And people, I noticed a lot of people in various social media were asking about off-road. Can you do off-road options for all these versions?
They advertised one on the Arcade One Up.
We have an Arcade One Up with off-road on it.
You can't put off-road graphics on this guy because that
Mhm.
wouldn't be right. But you can put off-road on anything else.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
we'll have different options.
So for this one, this is a great question from Boofman. Like, for instance, I have your At Games Legends Ultimate Racing Box kit, which connects to, there's a mount that I connect my steering wheel to, and it connects to the control panel of the Legends Ultimate, and I have a nice little toggle switch, so I can run the native At Games system, or I can flip over and run your guys' Android box. So Boofman here's got a great question. Is it going to have that same type of ability where we can, take this control panel off, put our Legends Ultimate back on, and play our normal At Game stuff, or how's it going to work? Or is it a complete gut mod? What do you think?
No, it's not a gut mod. You can run it OTG the same way you'd run anything else. Obviously, you do need to move the deck again because there's not many games other than
Right.
our mod that are going to run with those wheels. But yeah, you do not have to gut the ALU. That
Big
said,
ship.
I think if you go this route, and this is going to be a way to get a very nice machine for a pretty reasonable price by the time you're done. You're not going to switch it back and forth that often, right?
Yep.
I pick up another ALU for $400 or $500 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
and do it right.
Dedicate it. That's right. And we also have. I mean, this is a prototype as well that has the table. This one's the ALU, or Gamer Pro clamp on, same as our yoke and steering wheel mount.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, because on your racing box kit, I have that exact same clamp, that exact same mount.
That's right.
So this makes it easy to switch back and forth.
Yeah, because in fact, so people can kind of see it in real life. So, for instance, guys, right there, I have the clamp with the Glenn's Retro Show flight yoke on it, and right there, you can barely see it. You see a couple little like bright white dots. That's their Android box. So I'm able to flip back and forth between. I got CoinOps X going, but if I wanted to, I just click it into HDMI mode. And then I hit the power button. There's a power button right there. Turns on the Android box, and I'm playing the racing games. Like boom, boom, boom. It's that simple. So I'm hoping it'll be the same kind of experience from what you're talking about.
The clamp-on thing, it's basically exactly the same way. There'll be a desk mount one too, so you can do it in front of your monitor when you're supposed to be working.
I like that clamp option. How much is that going to be?
It's in the same ballpark as the $299. I think that's what I listed it.
$299. Okay.
And
Carl,
so
what are
just
you
to be
thinking?
clear, with the ALU, you have a single, double, and a third wheel option. Is that what I'm saying, or is it just 2 and 3?
That's a little bit undecided yet. Single, I would do a clamp on for the ALU. Right, you don't really want to replace the whole deck for just one wheel. Okay. Some people have been asking about a 2-wheel, like championship sprint sort of version. That's a pretty good idea. So that wouldn't be that hard for us to do. Obviously, see the first thing that happened when we brought this real super sprint deck in is that we put it on top of the ALU and we said, "Oh my goodness, it's exactly the right size." And that's kind of how we started thinking. It
was the perfect size.
Yeah, it's literally the perfect size for the ALU, and that was just kind of the way we've been thinking about it ever since. But some people don't have 2 friends, so
me.
That's so funny. Mike, as the reigning king of Arcade What Up, are we going to see these steering wheels on an Arcade One Up in the Genie-cade in the basement?
No, I'm going to be honest, Ed. Like, if I bought anything here, I mean, like, I would figure out a way to get the 360 full size multicade. I mean, that thing is just the heart wants what the heart wants. But I think there's a lot of really cool options for people who like to mod their cabs, that they could do this with the 1-wheel or 2-wheel options. I got a feeling our buddy Cornercade, he's going to be modding a cab and doing a super sprint with their 2-wheel option. That'll be my guess.
Yeah.
And Mike, at least you have 2 kids, so you will have some people to play with.
Yeah, that they have to play with me. Like that's the rules.
This is a great question, and this is what I was worried about when I did a video about this last night. Is these wheels are pretty large at a pretty high angle. Yeah. Do they block the screen on an arcade 1-up? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I love what you guys do. I thought 2 wheels might look a little silly on an arcade 1-up, but I see 2. I think 1 wheel was better, but now that I see 2
is actually better because of the placement.
If you're over 3.5 feet tall, you can see over it.
There you go.
And if you're a little under, you can actually see.
Yeah, but you guys are giants. You're like 6'4". I couldn't believe it. When I met you, I was like, "Whoa, what are you guys? The Twin Towers? Like, what's going on here?"
Here it comes. Here it comes.
All right. Well, so this camera is lower. This is Mario height. Okay.
Mario height.
This is Mario height. Yeah. So once you're in front of the machine, I mean, arcade 1-ups are short, right? We know that.
Yeah.
You should, of course, have a riser booster on this, and it would be a little better.
A riser booster.
You can see there's lots of clearance. They're not getting blocked by it. Now, these wheels look a little disproportionate. I'm not going to disagree with that, because the arcade 1-up is small, not because the wheels are big.
Yeah.
But the game is not the same game if you're playing.
Oh, your mic went out.
While their mic is out, we got a really serious question here from 720 Eric. Will John Wagner be able to see over the wheel?
Probably not. Probably not. Yep. Your microphones died, boys. The microphones died. Here, let's take them off full screen while they're trying to fix that.
Don't leave them on. We'll go silent. This is the black and white silent episode of the Super Game Room Dudes.
But yeah, so they're also going to have an option: 1-player arcade 1-up deck upgrade kit, $299. That'll be shipping later this year. And again, guys, they're working on getting their mics fixed. Then we also have popping up here. Here's that pedestal, the 360 wheel mount mini pedestal, $299. And then obviously you could purchase their gaming PC or their racing box, either one, and connect it to it as well. So lots of great options at different prices depending on your budget and all that stuff. Let's see what's going on here. Unfortunately, I should have known their mics were going to die on them with all that popping.
Carl, this is a good opportunity for you to get in there. What do you think about this? Like seeing the price points there, seeing what they delivered. If you were going to pick up anything here, what do you think you'd pick up out of their offerings?
I would definitely be interested in a mod for the ALU or the IRK, because those are the 2 cabinets that get the least play in my arcade. And prior to that, the Star Wars was the one that had the least play, but because I modded it, it gets a lot more play. So that would be my interest. I have an interest in making whatever cabins I have the best. And all of the cabins in here that have the mods are the ones that get the most play for the most part. My pinball, who made that? Your buddies there, P-Dubs, my pinball mod. That gets a lot of play. My Star Wars gets a lot of play now. Obviously, my vertical and the Street Fighter mods. All of my mods get the most play out of here. So I would definitely be interested in the IRK, just because of the shape of IRK, straight up, unobstructed. That would be my first choice. The ALU, which, like I said, I need to take that deck off and put something else on it anyway, just for me fiddling with it.
Yeah. You're tired of messing with that thing.
Yeah, and as you guys all know, I'm not allowed to add any more cabinets in here, so those 2 will allow me to expand my game room, and the wife never even noticed. So I'm kind of forced to go with mods for any.
Is there audio back?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Back. Perfect time.
Hear us the whole time.
Probably been
talking
hearing us
about
talk.
It's probably Mario out there just messing around,
I was
hitting
gonna not say
buttons.
it, but
Yeah.
That's Mario on all the dating websites. So, anyways, yeah, there was a question there I wanted to ask right here. This is off question, but I do want to ask this. You guys recently did like a screen upgrade for the ALP, right? Like that was one of the things that you did.
Yes.
yeah.
Nooner wants to know, and regardless, whatever he puts his name up there, he's still Nooner. Nooner wants to know, is there ever a look at doing some kind of monitor upgrade for the ALU? Is that something you guys have took a look at?
No. Well, we have often thought about the idea, but haven't found a solution for that yet.
Gotcha.
No worries.
Part of the issue with the ALU is their At Games is good at making about 4 or 5 different models.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They actually have 2 manufacturers, at least in China, that builds them, and they each designed it themselves. They didn't go off At Games blueprints. They designed it themselves. So their curves are all slightly different, and the way they box them all up are slightly different. And
Yeah.
so it's a bit of a tech support nightmare from our perspective, because I mean, the ALP, there's already 2 versions in terms of the wood bezel versus the plastic bezel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can handle that. Even our stickers for the ALP control deck, the buttons aren't in the same place on all of them. Like,
Yeah.
They seem to like to change things slightly. So.
All right, so I will ask you another question here. Some of the things that people came back with, because like people looked at this same way I looked at this, and I'm like, it's incredible, but people wanted it to be a little bit cheaper. So they were asking questions like, why did you go with 3/4 inch plywood? I mean, so many people use MDF. Is there a reason you wanted to make this as real to the real arcade as possible?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Context, come on.
Plywood is, I mean, we have an inventory of that, and we keep it coming in because we do build our racing cabs out of it as well as lots of our other product. It is strong and easy to work with, and we have access to it. And there's no money to be saved in going to particle board or MDF, and like there's
Oh, really?
advantage. Not for us when we're buying the quantity of 3/4 inch plywood we are anyways, and there's just no reason to compromise. It holds T-mold well, right? Like it's a different ball game if you're starting to dick around with other stuff. So.
Yeah, a couple other things really wanted to bring up on the price point that I think people. One of the things I was very honest, like it's expensive, but what people have to consider is this is a very different product than most people in this space would look at. And one of the things I noticed when I advertised it, obviously in my video, and then when I put it up on Twitter, that it wasn't so much home arcade people that were really excited seeing this. It was like real arcade people. They were like, hold on here now. Wait a second. There's a Super Sprint recreation that I can get my hands on. And there was a lot of people in that space that really jumped on. This product reminds me a lot of the time that we had, remember we had Ice, that home arcade company, P-Dubs, come on Super Game Room Dudes like a couple of years ago. And like they're coming on showing like their ice ball and they're showing their dome hockey and stuff. And then they start talking about the price and everybody's like, whoa, pump the brakes, right? Because it's home arcade. We're used to buying like arcade one-ups that are like $400, $500. So when you get a quality product like this, it's a little off. But if you go look at anybody's videos of going out and buying these like high-end multicade racers and stuff like that, like this is right on par with, honestly, I would say this is probably a value compared to some of those other multicade racers, because I've seen ones come in at like $4,000 or $5,000. I remember Retro Ralph bought one at one point, and it sure as shit wasn't a recreation of Super Sprint with the level of quality you guys put in and 3 wheels. That's for sure. So as much as I'd like to say it's a lot of money, it's also really friggin' cool, and it is more than just like a multicade racer. It is a recreation of a classic arcade and so much more. So as much as I said it's expensive, keep that in mind, guys. This isn't the same kind of product we're used to buying. This is a very high-end premium product, and more in the lines of what we're looking to buy. They've provided options for as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
you did that
true.
on
If
purpose.
you're looking to buy any multicade cabinet, that's the price set you're going to be looking at, regardless of whether it's a racer or a standard arcade cabinet. Now, what the racer is going to do is going to limit the number of games, obviously, because you're working with a wheel as opposed to multicade. But yeah, you'll find that same price with a one-wheel cabinet with about the same amount of games very easily. There's not a whole lot of options for one out there, but if you do, they're going to be one single wheel, and they're not going to look anything like this for the same price.
So, guys, let's make sure we get some other need to know information out there for people who are considering buying the 360-degree steering wheel. For instance, you'll notice, because this is a 360-degree steering wheel and they wanted it to be as arcade accurate as possible, unlike a lot of gaming wheels you can buy today from Ori, from Thrustmaster, you'll notice there's no shifter. So some people were saying, well, how can I play some of these other arcade games, these MAME arcade games that require a shifter? And Buy Stuff let me know that if you notice, next to each steering wheel, there are your buttons. And unfortunately, those buttons are going to be your shifters. And that's going to be pretty much on any version of the steering wheel that you buy, whether you buy it for an arcade one up, an at games, you'll have that control panel with those buttons. It's important that the wheels were accurate, which is why there's no shifter like built into the wheels like you see on some of these modern video games. Do you think that's what are your thoughts on that, Buy Stuff boys, about the shifting thing? Do you think, does it work well just using the buttons to shift and things like that?
Well, if you're talking about pole position, probably the biggest 360 wheel with the shifter, it's just a simple 2-position shifter, right?
Yep.
So to hit the button
And like
off or shift,
and like outrun, just high low.
Yeah. Virtually the same thing. The button works fine.
Yep.
We have Cruising USA working on here quite well, but you're not going to run Cruising USA
in manual
transmission. And there's enough buttons on the deck that we can make it happen, but you can't take your hands off the wheel on a 360 wheel to focus on shift. So those games you're running automatic. So that's just part and parcel of the way it's best to play. But the 360 wheel games that have a shifter, the button works great. We've been playing with Sprint a little bit because that has a 4-position shifter. That's probably the only 360 wheel with a 4. So that's a little bit tricky. But we actually might make it work using mainly gear 2 and 3, because if you ever played that game, that's the only 2 gears you need anyway.
It's hard. It's really hard.
It's hard. Super Sprint's easy compared to that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think what we should do is I just noticed we've been talking for 55 minutes. We should do the first giveaway, then do a bunch of demos so people can see this stuff working, and then maybe do the final giveaway before we end the show. How does that sound, guys?
Sounds good to me.
Sure. Before we do that, P-Dubs, can I ask one really super important, serious question that I meant to ask earlier on? Guys, I know that you're big fans of Super Sprint, and it's cool that you did it, but did you guys not get the memo? This is your golden tee. You were supposed to make a golden tee. Did you miss out on that?
And we have another blanket. This one's green.
Green blanket. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna have to do this a little funky. When we use StreamYard for broadcasts, we're able to do like a live comment picker. When we use Restream like we're doing tonight, unfortunately, it's gonna probably have to be just fastest fingers wins. So get your typing fingers ready, guys, for the first question. What is this first giveaway gonna be? What's the prize, buddy?
We'll do a $50 gift card.
$50 gift card to Buy Stuff?
Yeah. Not the Arby's, sorry.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to monitor the live chat and not so if you guys want to check the live chat actually on YouTube, because that'll be the most accurate. That way we see, not the live chat on Restream, because there's a delay there. So the first trivia question is gonna be, what was the retail price for Super Sprint when it was released in the arcades back in 1986? Whoever can guess right in the live chat will win. I'll repeat the question. What was the retail price for Super Sprint when it was released to arcades back in 1986? And I'll need the buy stuff guys to let me know if they see the first person with the right answer.
Mario's watching.
There's a lot of prices coming in. I think people are just typing in random stuff. You guys are all over the map, viewers. Holy shit.
Oh, we got the
Here it is.
first one.
Yeah, there it is.
Who was it, Mario?
Little
Oh,
alien
of course.
Jason. Yeah.
Jason. Well,
Oh my goodness, Jason Little Alien won?
Yeah.
That's all right. He should win.
He just
All right,
really
so
hard.
So,
Jason won. And because Jason is the moderator here, just to make sure that there's no shenanigans, because, you know, I know how these drama channels work on YouTube, I'm going to sponsor a second $50 buy stuff giveaway. And hopefully our moderator won't win. That way people don't freak out. So $50 of my money, I'll buy you a buy stuff gift card. Let's do a second trivia questions here.
Do you want the second person with the same answer? With the right answer?
Yeah,
the answer,
We
the
didn't say
answer
what-
is significant.
Yeah, second person with the same answer, I'll do the $50 to them.
So that's Anthony.
Anthony?
Anthony.
Okay. So the price in 1986 was $34.95, which happens to be our discounted price on the pre-order.
All right, so
Whoa.
30, what is it, 35 years? Or
Yep.
No
All right,
inflation.
so
Zero
the se-
inflation.
Zero inflation at the buy stuff.
there you go.
Mike B thinks it's expensive.
All right. So Jason and Anthony, both of them have won $50 buy stuff gift cards. How about some congrats in the live chat? Do me a favor, both of you, send me an email, pdubsarcadeloft@gmail.com to claim your prize, and we'll make sure that you guys get your prize. pdubsarcadeloft@gmail.com. Thanks to Buy Stuff for doing that. Thanks to P-Dubs for doing a second giveaway to avoid it, because I just know this community, man. They're a bunch of psychos. This community is full of psycho YouTubers looking for clickbait.
Did you just give yourself a pat on the back there?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Why don't we do this instead of you doing a P-Dubs, because it's really cool you doing that. Why don't we all do it? We'll take it out of the Super Game Room dudes cash,
Yeah.
and we'll do the $50 from
there
all
you
of us. That's the fairest way to do it.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yep. All right. Good stuff. All right. So that's two of them. Guys, let's do, because I don't want this thing to go 3 hours because the audience gets cranky.
And Carl already left.
He's working on his internet connection. He's having some issues. Mario really has been dying to get on the stream and do some demos. So maybe you guys can show us some demos of some gameplay. We'll put you full screen.
On that one.
On this one?
We'll show you Super Sprint on the small guy first.
Yeah, can we show the arcade one first before we get to the big one? Because I'll be honest with you guys, the smaller, more cost-effective versions are probably the ones that people are gonna really want to take a peek at. But we definitely want to see the big boy in action for sure.
All right, let's see if we got a good angle on you.
It's okay. It's got that beautiful Generation 1 washout on the screen. We love it.
We'll have a
Zedge.
19-inch screen upgrade, though. Don't worry.
And they do sell those 19-inch arcade one-up upgrade kits as well, guys. Oh, and by the way, real quick, some people were asking why on all the versions that they showed, Super Sprint did not have light-up marquees, and that's because the original Super Sprint did not have a light-up marquee, so they wanted to make it as accurate as possible. However, when we move over to the big boy machine, we're going to show you something special that the Buy Stuff guys have been working on to kind of replace that light up marquee, if you will.
So Michael's blue, Mario's red.
All right, go ahead.
That looked pretty smooth.
If you're keeping score, yes.
So you drive like my son, who's had 2 at-fault accidents. Way to go, boys.
and you guys have all witnessed me with Mario Kart, and I would be crashing and hitting every wall and every corner.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. That's kind of true.
Yeah.
Now, is there any force feedback at all built into these wheels? I forgot to ask that.
No, 360 wheels are basically a spinner. So
Yep, so it's just a spinner.
You got the camera too close. I'm kicking it with my gas pedal.
Yeah, so if you do feel force feedback on the 360 wheel,
It's
you've
from your
broken.
own-
You broke it. Oh, Mike, I love it. If you feel any force feedback, you broke it. Mario, how does it feel to be live on the internet? Are you excited, my friend?
It's not the first time.
He's nervous. He's not doing as well as he normally does.
Yeah, he's been awfully quiet after wanting to come on so bad.
Usually he's a little more competitive.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna
Man,
let the
this-
bosses win on the stream.
You never let me win in real life. I can't win at any other game around here, just so you know. This is my only game. That's why it's my favorite. Everybody beats me at everything else.
Yeah. So, you guys completely designed this steering wheel from scratch?
Well, the actual wheel is a go-kart, like an off-road racing go-kart wheel. Like this is manufactured. The bearing kit and shaft that goes in the hub is also part of that kit. So if you were driving an off-road go-kart, that's what you'd be hanging on to. This pod was made. I made that myself, modeled after the Atari original, and then the mounting system and the encoder system and the gears and all that is all constructed here by us.
And what really, really sells this mod is that Gen 1 arcade one-up monitor that we're looking at right here, man. It just doesn't show up well on camera, but it looks pretty
camera's
cool.
not great.
Yeah. It looks pretty good.
But from a playability factor, yeah, that looks fun. It looks fun.
Not getting better.
Is there any way to hear some game audio? Are you able to crank up the volume? Is there any speakers on that thing?
Well, we'll turn the audio up on the big boy.
You'll hear it on the big
together
boy.
to make it work for tonight. This one.
Okay.
We're a little bit like Steve Jobs on our iPhone demo on this one. Don't
Okay.
hit the wrong button or
So on the big boy, you guys will hear the audio, guys, on the big boy. There you go.
all right. Should we switch over to that one?
All right.
Yeah, let's go to the big
Mario
one.
can do better on this one.
I think we got the idea.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go.
Okay, guys, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to get people to spend $3,500.
Oh, by the way, before you get started, can we just angle the camera up to show the whole back box there with the as you can see, no light up marquee. The original Super Sprint did not have one. It's just a logo on a bezel. But you want to show them what you guys showed me earlier that will be compatible with this thing, just for people who really need to have something on top.
Mario. Yeah. So BitPixel is compatible.
Yeah.
So and the marquees will automatically show up.
Oh, look at that. It's changing with
Nice.
the game. So for those of you who feel you need something lit up on top of it, and a BitPixel marquee will work. So that's pretty awesome.
You can hang this on the wall or from the ceiling.
Yep.
Because I am not going to mount it on the original reproduction Super or anyone.
I could see like putting it on the wall right behind the machine,
Sure.
right above there. I think that would look great.
It's a little cut off. I mean,
Yeah.
and yes, that was just plug and play. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, let's crank up the volume and let's hear some good times,
It's a little
man.
dark.
not this leg.
Mario, is Mario okay? Did Mario fall?
No, I'm good, guys. I'm good.
Hey, it's Mario.
Is that better?
No.
Let's see if that's not,
Yeah.
not better.
So whether it's on the PC build or the Android box, will the included games, do they save like scores, top scores, racing history, stuff like that?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
It depends on the game, right?
Yeah, most of them do though.
Yeah, most of them have like a high score.
There's a couple other features we might as well just show real quick. So this basically this control stick, which you can't see because I'm standing in front of it, will navigate up and down through the menus. You can go left and right to go through one player.
Oh wait, so that's a little spinner thing right there?
It's a stick.
It's a thumbstick.
Oh, it's a thumbstick. Nice.
Yeah. So we decided to go with that. You can of course go back to the categories. So we divided into one. So right now, just I will show you. We're at 51 games on one player. We are at 14 games, so that's 65, two player, and 10 games, I believe, on 3 player.
With
so
more
favorites
coming.
menu. So this navigation system has been designed to be as foolproof as possible. You can't get to a system menu on here without opening the coin door. It actually starts up and shuts down from the power button. It does a safe boot, safe shutdown if I hit that button. And again, hit the button to start it up. There's no, you can get a couple little menus like that, but you can't get into any settings. You can't change your favorites unless you open the coin door. And there's a few buttons in here. I don't know if you want to show it or not, but
wow, beautiful.
You can hit the yellow button there, and that will add. So I just removed Super Sprint from favorites, which is like sacrilege.
Yes, don't do that.
So you go find it again, hit that, hold that button down, and you'll add it back to your favorites. So you can customize it, and anyone that doesn't have the key won't be able to mess it up on you. That's kind of our intent. The actual system buttons and things are in here. So no one can touch them unless they know what they're doing.
Nice.
And this coin door is completely fabricated by ourselves, or by Michael anyway.
Oh, really?
Yes. So this is a metal coin door we made ourselves because it's actually very difficult to find a good 3-slot coin door.
Very few arcade machines had 3 players, so they don't actually sell replacement 3-player doors.
The actual coin mechs that we're using have a coin comparison feature. So we got a Canadian quarter in here. We could put a Canadian loonie in here, which you guys don't even know what that is.
I know what it is.
Michael B does.
I know what it is as well. And tuners.
And then you'd have to put the loonie in to start the game. So you put whatever coin you want to match in there, and you're good to go.
So,
yeah,
guys, there was one question on my video that I didn't even think about. So for places with like mom and pop little local entertainment centers, like they were asking, is it possible to put one of those card readers on this? Have you guys thought about that? Like a commercial market for this, maybe?
Did they have card readers in 1986?
Oh, you want to go fully authentic? You don't.
Oh,
know.
we're authentic here. Yes. If you're gonna have to buy tokens from mom at the till, and then you can set the thing to run tokens, too. That's the other thing that these coin mechs could easily do. Just have a token in there to match.
So before we crank up the volume and have you guys demo some of these racing games, can you do me a favor? Can you point the camera down again at the Hall Effect pedals? Because keep in mind, a lot of people are going to buy the steering wheel and they're going to buy the Hall Effect pedals. Can you show these off? Tell people why you went with Hall Effect pedals versus something more traditional and things like that. And why should they buy these pedals?
These are the same pedals as we sell along with our Star Wars mod kits and stuff. So this is a pedal we actually make ourselves out of a foot switch pedal.
Oh, okay.
So it's got the metal case, but we put the circuit board in there that we designed with Hall Effect sensor in it.
So that gives you a variable pedal.
It gives you the variable pedal as opposed to just on-off.
Super Sprint, again, to be authentic, was actually a variable pedal. A lot of 360 games weren't, but Super Sprint was. It was very short throw, just like this, but you can control the speed by how much you push it down.
So that's what we've been making those for a while with if anybody's ever gotten the Star Wars yoke kit with the pedal with our Android box, same setup, but we have obviously gas and brake for player 1, and then just gas for players 2 and 3.
Yep. And that was just the question that a couple people asked in the live chat. They wanted to know why the middle player had 2 pedals and the other sides only had 1. The middle player is the player 1 position on the 3-player control decks. So you're going to need gas and brake for all the racing games. But for the other 2 players, they're pretty much just going to need the 1 pedal depending on the game you're playing. So
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way we design it is 1-player games are always in the middle. 2-player games always play on the 2 outside. The blue player on every game is going to be here, and then this person gets whatever color's left over. So that's kind of how we're organizing it. 3 players obviously use all 3.
And hell, even when I'm in player 1, I hardly ever hit the brake, man. I just drive like an animal playing these racing games. So, all right, let's.
We often map the brake to the B button as well, because that's actually easier to make work sometimes. So if you do need a brake on the odd game here, we can do it to a button.
Okay. Well, let's do some demos, show off a couple of games, and do you got anything like cool and different we haven't seen yet on your Android box?
Super Sprint or
what about hard driving? You got a hard driving?
We're still working on hard driving.
The motorcycle off-road.
Well, let's show off. People are big fans of this, so we can show this.
Yeah, let's do off-road first, and let's do it, man. If you want to move the camera,
you can put a quarter in. And
okay, that was
that's
cool.
The yellow player, because that's the yellow person. Red, but you can also, right now we're on free play, so you can also hit the box. So again, blue, I'm running blue, or I should be running blue.
Yeah.
And we can play 3 players.
Yeah, I think I'll block the whole view, and you guys just look at our backs.
Yeah, if you want to move this to move the camera more closer, and just crank up the volume because the microphone's so far away from the machine. And we'll just kick back and listen to some racing. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
We're not as good at this game as I know. It's not good.
Now I see where At Games got his background music from.
Good stuff, man.
Okay, so to exit the game, you simply just push the thumbstick in, and we're going.
All right, what else we got?
This is pretty good.
Yeah.
Mario will show us Ace Driver.
Hell yeah. Let's see what you got, Mario. Mario, no pressure, but we have 25,000 people watching right now.
That's not a whole lot of pressure.
I love this game. Ace Driver is one of my favorites.
Hey guys, and at least one person asked if there would be a countercade version of the steering wheel on a standalone base.
Is it shifting?
No, it's not shifting. I'm trying to Jimmy's change. If they want
Oh, yeah.
to change.
change.
So one of the things you'll notice with 360 wheel on these types of games, which are not designed for a 360 wheel, they're 270. If you lose your position, you're in trouble. So you have to be careful to make sure you know
Your
where
hands
center is.
planted on the wheel, and then you can actually.
But you'll also notice how incredibly responsive the controls are. So you just are tweaking the wheel, and it moves. It's like kind of like a real sports car. So
if you see my hand shaking, that's actually because I'm trying to keep it steady.
Not because he's nervous.
It's all nerves.
That's one of the things that makes the racing with this wheel actually quite fun. But
there's no dead zone on the wheel because it's a little bit you move.
Next time we do this, we'll do an HDMI splitter with a capture card. That way we can get the,
Man, do you ever not complain about something? Like,
yes,
my God.
it's a little washed out, I guess, still.
Well, I want the viewers to be happy, Mike. I don't want the viewers to be
That's
disappointed.
your problem. I want the viewers to be unhappy. That's what I aim for.
But Michael, how can you make the argument? My phone rang one time, and you was like, "Oh goodness, you just ruined the whole show."
I didn't
That's
say
true.
that, Carl. I said you're a disaster.
Oh, that's ruined the whole show. If I could show up in the
All right, let's. So, are there any?
Okay, do you want
Are there any games on this build right now that are not on your Android box that people would be excited to see?
Oh, there's lots and lots of games that aren't on the Android box because this is a PC.
All right, so
how about we scroll through the list a minute?
All right, here we go, guys. We're gonna go through the list.
So play we can. So we're in one player. This is the biggest list, obviously. So we just saw East Driver. I'm not going to read them out because I think you can see them.
Yep. All Points Bulletin.
Yeah, so that's a classic 360 wheel game. So obviously that's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
People make fun of Arkanoid with the wheel, but it's a spinner. So it's bigger than the normal spinners, but it actually works pretty well. So it works, and it's a big enough game. We put a couple on, and then we discovered this version of, it's this one, right, Mario?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, no, it's in the two-player.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's actually a two-player Arkanoid, and your paddles are on top of each other. I'd never seen it before. And then you switch places each time. So that's kind of neat. Asteroids, of course, is a button game, but guess what? We mapped the buttons to the spinner. So some classic ones that most people haven't heard of.
Hardest game ever I played.
Big Run, Buggy Challenge. We're very pleased how well California Speed runs. Not necessarily this video here, but it runs well.
I just want to hear pole
and a lot of
position.
fun. It's like
I just want to hear pole position. That's all I'm came here for.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. We're still in the sea.
It's in P. It's
This game, if you haven't played it, it works great with the spinner wheel. It's quite a fun game. Yeah, Kart Fury. A lot of people haven't heard about it, but the Toronto Exhibition Center is in this game. You run around medieval castles, and you get turbo boost. It's actually quite fun. Classics like Jake's HQ. Totally different game to play with the 360 wheel the way it was intended. It's actually a fun game with a 360 wheel. I'm not so sure about without it. Other classics. We did get Cruising USA running quite well with it. So that's obviously a big name.
Is that like a Dreamcast version or what
there are no console games on here. Arcade only.
Arcade only? No. Oh, so that's the arcade version. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and P-Dubs, just for reference, this is a Nintendo property, so would not have been on Dreamcast or anything like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking of Daytona. I'm sorry.
Yeah, some of these were 360 wheel games. Actually, just
that's hard.
As a part of trivia, games like this actually have a setting in MAME to change between joystick, 270, or 360 wheel. So.
Yeah, that's the game that makes me vomit right there.
It's hard.
I'm not going to disagree.
You need to take a whole bunch of motion sickness pills before you play that game.
Yeah, games like this play great on it. This is another one of those that makes Pete up a little bit sick. The final laps, we have actually another final lap on here, which isn't in the list yet. Newer final lap, which plays really good. And the spinning out you do actually really accommodates the 360 wheel neat. Indy hang-ons on here. Hydro works well. Outrunners, we just got this working today in both single player and 2-player. So we actually have split screen working in the 2-player, so that's pretty neat. And there's a few other games like that we're going to be looking at. And we added this one today too. It works actually quite well.
I imagine it works much better than on the arcade one-up Mortal Kombat Deluxe playing with the controller.
It seems to fit a little better on this one, I would say.
Yeah.
And
get ready, Carl. Here's your moment.
There it is. There it is.
So,
The OG.
I didn't hear the sound. Where's the sound?
Oh, sorry.
You got to switch out and come back.
Well, this guy's too good. He doesn't squeal.
There it is.
So, guys, AZ Arcade brings up no Demolition Derby. That one's
that's not
game
a
that
single
uses
player game
360.
now.
We're not there yet.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So pole position 2's on here. Power drift. This works well with this wheel as well. It was a 360 originally. Again, this one's great. Now this Radical Bikers works fantastic with this wheel. It's a ton. And this is again the arcade version, not the N64. It plays great. So this is a joystick game. This is one I remember from my arcade days, and it plays great. We got it playing really well with this wheel, and it's fun. And then we get into Ridge Racer, Ridge Racer, Ridge Racer 2, which are basically identical games. And of course, Road Blasters, which was a 360 wheel game with hinged at or stopped at 270. It plays the way it's supposed to play. It's great. Some people asked about the triggers because you don't have the yoke, but of course the fire buttons are on the dash. It's very easy to play that way. It works great.
Nice.
This game I got going, I don't know if you're familiar with it, Road Burners.
It's fun.
It's actually
It's really fun.
It's a really good game.
You got a first-person motorcycle. Like you can switch views to be first person, and
On the whole
the
screen.
whole screen's leaning, and you
So that's great.
squeal and bounce off the bus and everything. It's
Oh, I see Stun Runner coming up. Is that that's not the weird bike game that B Kong likes, is it?
Stun Runner. This was one of the first 3D games that was out, I believe, in the early days. It was very popular. So that works not too bad. We got some Rush games on here.
There
They
you
play
go.
well, so that's kind of fun. The Rock as well. Got Sega Rally working. We got Stalker. So every game we can find, of course, that is a top-down spinner type we're putting on here. Some aren't so familiar. This is actually a one-player game. Super Hang-On, Super Monaco GP plays well. Tempest, some people are making fun of that too online, but it's good with the. I'm telling you, it's pretty cool with the wheel. So Turbo, there's no other way to play Turbo properly. We do have it on our other builds, and we got it going pretty well. But the precision you need for this game, the 360 wheel is just unmatched. So it's a classic, obviously. Turbo runs great. This is that 3-screen game in the old arcade. So it looks a little bit squished when you're playing it, but it works. It's kind of an upgraded pole position.
Now, I have a question, guys.
Yep.
Can I get a steering wheel and swap it out on my Star Wars mod?
On the Star Wars mod,
no.
Because the configuration needed for the 360 would just be,
yeah,
it just doesn't exist
some
in that
decks
build.
are more. You really want a flat deck for this particular one, right? So, but there's going to be lots of other ways with the clamp-on type of decks. Virtual racing we got working great. It's a lot of fun with 360. I said I wasn't going to talk about every one of them, but
You got all the way around.
I got all the way around. So
Now
So-
2-player.
yeah, so 2-player. There's not as many of these, of course. We're trying to put as many on as we can. This is that 2-player Arkanoid I was telling you about, even though the video is only showing one. Badlands, classic sequel to Super Sprint, or Championship Sprint maybe, because it's only 2-player. I don't know why well, I do know why. The arcades didn't want these big things. Blasteroids, it works great. It's quite fun. So Championship Sprint.
If people wanted to tinker around with this build and possibly add or remove games, will they be able to easily?
If you can open the coin door, you're able to, yeah. You can't do it without accessing the menus in there. Yes, it's possible.
Okay.
It's a little harder to set up some of these than people might realize, but if you know what you're doing, you can do it. There's a couple
Is
things.
the PC locked down where they can't modify anything?
No. So those aren't set up yet. We're working on those. So this is the Outrunners I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Load it real quick just to show you. So this comes up as split screen, and so it actually plays like this.
This is MRS, the Mega Radio Station. This program is brought to you by Sega. You're in car number 1.
Yeah, we just have too much backlight pointed at the
Oh, this
screen.
is pretty cool, right? To be able to do 2-player split screen like that. I'll suck it out. That.
So Shane, yes, we're going to 3-player games next, and yeah, off-road and Super Sprint are definitely going to be there under the 3-player games.
This is another 2-player top-down. This is another one. People won't be as familiar with, but they're kind of cool.
Well, we don't have Restalgia here tonight, but thankfully Hazo is here to say, okay, I'll say it. This is crazy value.
At least 7.1%, right?
60.39% value.
Okay.
Is it possible to dim the lights at all, guys, to see the screen?
It's hard to, the camera kind of readjusts. It's hard to get the backlight to not make it all disappear. I'm not sure if I will.
They have a lot of spotlights pointed there.
Okay.
See if we can hold that.
That works. I can try flicking the lights, all the lights off, and see if the whole room goes darker.
Can you also put a couple candles on for ambience? Maybe turn on some low music. That would...
Oh.
No, try to turn them all off for a sec.
No,
off.
Hey, if you're comfortable being in the dark with Mario, I am. So, you do what you got to do, man.
Does that look better or worse?
I don't know.
That looks better right now.
All right. I'm gonna have to send you guys a good camera for this stuff. There you go.
Okay,
That'll do.
so this is
That'll
the
do.
3-player list that we have working so far. Well, there's obviously only so many 3-player ones.
Yeah.
And Indie Heat is one. You'll notice our graphics changed. Did you see that?
Hey guys, and so there's a question: any flying games like Afterburner going to be in here, or is this strictly going to be? Well, we know it's not all driving games because we have Tempest.
You can figure out how to fly an airplane with the 360 wheel while at it. Okay, so Demolition Derby, classic game from my day anyway. So that's kind of fun. Hot Rod is a scrolling game. Actually, there's two versions of that because one is different than the other. So off-road, there's actually both versions. So the original and then the extended track pack kit. This game is probably one no one's ever heard of before. It must have been a cocktail table with 4 like 19-inch monitors or something. And so it's a track racing game, so it works. Super Sprint, of course.
Yeah, I've heard of that game.
Pardon?
I've heard of Super Sprint. Apparently that one's good.
Yeah. Warlords is the
cocktail table game.
It's quite fun. So the other one that we came up with that's 3-player is Wheel of Fortune.
Fortune.
So
That's so funny.
And when it works, spin the wheel. Anna?
All right.
So that is
Let's show some off road, and then we'll do our final giveaway, and get everyone out of here.
off road. We actually did play already. Is there any other suggestions people are asking for?
I have a demo here. One person's asking for demo.
Well,
it's kind of boring to watch.
One person has
to play, but it's kind of boring to watch.
Yeah, show me something cool here.
Well, do that 1-player motorbike game. That's whatever one that was called.
Well, I'll just show it real quick.
Gotta love that coin in sound.
So the button is reverse and the gas is forward. You're supposed to hit people with the back of your car and not the front.
I don't have reverse with this hand. I know, but I'm using my foot.
I can do reverse.
You're gonna make me go backwards and I'll steer and I can't keep turning the wrong way.
So this was designed as a cocktail table and a 2-player version as well. In the arcade.
This just reminds me of traffic in downtown Chicago, honestly.
So, guys, obviously you're going to keep trying to put more on this. It's the wild thing that even when people pre-order now, I mean, like you still don't have a finished games list that you can tell people about. I mean, you're still going to add stuff. Like another one that is an old school game. I don't remember on the 2-player section. Do you guys have an eye for Death Race? Is that one you're looking at about adding?
Death Race? Well,
yeah.
Well, if we don't have it on our list already, we'll check it out for sure. And people can make suggestions, but again, it needs to be arcade ROM.
Oh, Death Race is an arcade ROM. It will be perfect for this. It's a 1976 Exidy game. I remember seeing it whenever you watch like a tour of Galloping Ghost. It's like one of the first games they show every single time. Really cool cabinet. But it's an old game.
Yeah. There's Night Racer or something too that we are looking at. It's like super old game as well.
We're gonna make it stop.
Well, the opposite of the way it's going.
So while we're looking at this, I'll ask you a couple of questions because this is really, really badass what you guys are doing here. If this does well, are there any other plans to maybe do something like this for other forms? Like, I always see online like people trying to make like these, all-in-one arcade cabs. But I'd love to see something that'd be like a fighter recreation, something like that, with a bunch of other games on it. So if this does well, do you think this could be kind of like a line for you guys going forward? Or is this like a one and done, do you think?
You make it sound like we think years and years ahead.
Don't you? All these arcade companies do, I know.
Well, obviously this is our first foray into a larger machine. We did it because it's a passion project for us, and because it's an underserviced market for a 360 wheel, right? Like there isn't really a good product out there. So that's usually our first criteria, is looking for something that is underserviced and that we could make a difference for. But we certainly have the capability to recreate whatever we want. But again, we're not ever going to try to compete with arcade one-up shells, right? We
obviously
like arcade one-up shells because we can sell mod kits that make them better.
But like I do think there's a market for this. Like, you know, really, really well done multicades of this size and this quality. Like, I don't know. It depends, I guess, on how well it sells, but I think there could be something out there. Like, you know, like make a twin stick cab, flight stick cab, yoke cab, like
unique controls. If there's enough games that can use it, like I think we're showing there's quite a few games that can use this, then it makes pretty good value, right? So,
like I know people have been enjoying your shooter kits. Like, maybe that's something.
Yeah, a shooting cab is probably the next full size cab we were thinking.
Logical step. Nooner says, as of right now, you could literally do nothing and compete with Arcade 1-Up.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really trying to compete with Arcade 1-Up.
No,
right?
no.
So
this is a whole different animal.
Triple Chip Adventures wants to know if you have anything in the works for the MX-24 retro shooter. Well, technically, guys, if you do their retro shooter mods that have already come out, all you're doing is swapping those handguns for the MX-24. So
yeah, you can just plug them in.
You just plug it in.
They're really good. We're gonna make mounts for them for our pedestals and things like that. So that's one of the things on Michael's list to do.
All right, let's do our final giveaway here, because I know a lot of the people are wanting to continue on with their Friday nights. Guys, you've done a fantastic job. I know how exhausting it is doing live demonstrations. What is our second giveaway going to be? What's going to be the prize on our second giveaway whenever you're ready?
I was going to do the same thing again. I'm not that creative.
All right, so another $50 gift card? Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do another gift card, guys. It's going to be Fastest Fingers Wins. I changed the trivia question. It's the answers in the private chat here on the broadcast. So, Mike, and if you guys can help me keep the eyes out for the answer. Here's the question, guys. Fastest Fingers Wins. Since the first trivia question was about Super Sprint, this trivia question is going to be about Off-Road. Off-Road was announced on many consoles, but there was one console it was announced on, but it was actually never released. Give me the full console name in the live chat. Which port of Off-Road was announced on console, but was never actually released? I want the full console name.
I don't know.
I don't know, things like that.
People are close. I'm not seeing it yet. There we go.
Fist of Love.
Fist of Love got it. Whoop, wrong guy. The Fist of Love. You are the winner, Atari Jaguar. That is correct, guys. Off-Road. It came to the Master System, Genesis, Super Nintendo, Amiga, Microsoft DOS, and then eventually later on they announced that it was going to be ported to the Atari Jaguar, but it never actually got released. Congratulations to the Fist of Love. You are the winner of a $50 Buy Stuff gift card. That means you only need to come up with $3,450 to buy that arcade machine sitting right behind him. Make sure you send me an email, pdubsarcadeloft@gmail.com to claim your prize, and we'll make sure that gets over to the Buy Stuff boys. Woo, man. It has been a super fun show. You guys have been awesome as always. I got to tell you, man, you guys come up with some pretty cool stuff.
So I got to ask you a question. Like, do you ever look back and think about it? Like all this coming from, what was it, 4 years ago? Originally, letting At Games in the door, helping them get distribution here in Canada. And you look at where you are now, like you just made your own arcade. Like how friggin' cool is that?
Well, it's a lot more fun than the printing business we used to be in. So
The printing business. Well, any final thoughts, any special messaging, anything you want to say to the audience out there before we send these people on their way? Carl, unfortunately, is having severe internet issues. We lost Carl, but he's trying. Go ahead, guys.
No, we want to thank everyone, obviously, for their support and ideas and suggestions. We do spend a lot of time on social media listening and watching what people are asking about, interested in, things like that. So those ideas do sometimes trickle through me into this creative mind over here, and sometimes they happen. So we can't do everything. Obviously, we have to pick and choose a lot, but we're always interested in ideas. So
yeah, and I want to thank all you guys and the community at large just for being excited about this with us. I mean, it's kind of a fun way to work. Having buzz and making things that people are interested in. So thanks a lot.
Yep, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in picking up these 360-degree steering wheels with the Hall effect pedals for their multicade mods, whether they want to mod an arcade one up, an At Games Legends Ultimate, just do a standalone pedestal. And hey, if you got the money and if you want to get nuts, in the words of Michael B., let's get nuts, go buy the big boy. But I think a lot of us are going to definitely be buying these wheels for future projects, right? Guys, big shout out to Buy Stuff for coming on the show. Big shout out to Buy Stuff for sponsoring the giveaways tonight.
So just really quickly, like
every
I see the
time
super
we want to end the show.
See the super sprint.
Time.
I see the super sprint, and like it's so freaking cool, and like what you've done is so amazing there. So like I see it, checks bank account, comes back and goes, yeah, the $2.99 option might work.
Yep, that's true. Guys, if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, do me a favor, give us a thumbs up on the way out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in on Friday nights.
Oh, hold on one second.
And until next time, we'll see you on the web.
1 second. Pre-orders say sold out already. Do you want to explain that in case some people are scared away?
Because the pre-order hasn't gone live yet.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
14th, which just so happens to correspond with Father's Day weekend.
And guys, and one more thing, like Michael B., if you want to test out the shipping of this to make sure logistics is right, I can give you an address, and we'll
just
make sure it
right across the border, right?
Yeah, just to test everything out.
All right, Carl, because you got they couldn't hear the big farewell. You mind sending everyone on their way?
All right, guys. Michael B. is going to stop talking for just 1 second, and we are going to thank you and appreciate you for tuning in as always, man. Fridays aren't Fridays without you guys. We want to thank Buy Stuff Arcades for coming in and showing off this fantastic product, and we appreciate you as always. Until next time, we'll see you on the web.